State House candidate, Dan Goldnor, that's his name. Goldnor, that's his name. Anyway, he won last night, and people are talking about it. I think it's worth us having a discussion about it. To me, I've talked before about Mike Johnson telling Republicans to start with town hall meetings. And I talked about what that means. How, well, the fact that those people going to the town hall meetings that didn't sound like we're left. They were complaining about significant issues. It's almost like when we talk about everything's racist, and I've talked about how, like, sometimes people are just talking about their viewpoints, and it's not racism, that's just their viewpoints. That's how I see Mike Johnson. It was a blind spot. It was a blind spot. And I talked about how I thought about it. What's like for a white man living in a red state or a red area that takes his lunch hour off, or takes a day off, to go have a discussion about how Trump's cuts affect him, and he sits in there, and that's his time to talk for redress of government. That's his right. So to have Mike Johnson say, "No, they're all Democrats. We don't care." Like it's like, wow, like this is what you voted for. And I'm talking about how Trump don't really need these white folks no more. People he needed, the people that were sitting behind him in inauguration, the richest people in the country, in the world. He doesn't care about you. You bought his shoes, you bought his hats, you bought his shirts, you bought his NFTs. You fell for it. You bought all this crap and baubles and trinkets and secrets of rank. You wore diapers out there that said real men wore diapers. You taped the Kotex over your ear to mimic Trump being shot, bandage. You did it. And now he doesn't need you. And so to see Mike Johnson do that, to me it was kind of beautiful because, yeah, you don't need these white folks no more. And now you're being hurt because you voted to put yourself back into feudalism. This to me, this gentleman, Democratic State House candidate Dan Goldner, at House District 35, they elected Trump with 15 points or something, clearly elected him, and they voted for him twice. For them to go to a Democrat, which he didn't sound like a model, he didn't sound like what's the guy in West Virginia? He didn't sound like that guy. He's like a real Democrat. For them to go to that, it's like, hey, y'all effed up. And that people don't like that. That Mike Johnson's smoking his own dope. He's smoking his own dope, and that when you do that, these are the things that happen because you didn't see them coming. Because you're not being a leader. You're not being responsible and accountable. You're just saying we got Trump in office. Because really, honestly, I said before, the people that Trump have, the people they have in there, a lot of them are lackeys and sycophants. They're not there to be a politician. It's like what you're seeing with Hegseth. Pete Hegseth about that drinking during the thing over there in Europe. He's out there drinking alcohol. That wasn't water. Drinking whiskey or something up there. Yeah, because you didn't vote for people who are capable and stand on their own. You voted for lackeys that will do whatever Trump said. This is what the white man, this is what you wanted. You wanted people to bring about your idea of white supremacy. You're not going to get it. So it's like buying tools from the dollar store, secondhand tools from Goodwill, and you need them and they're falling apart and they're like not working and they're all rusty because you didn't get good tools. And you knew that. That's my thing to the white man. You knew this. You voted for this. And now you're being hurt. And now you're wondering why people who have lied to you and blew smoke up your behind are lying to you some more. But now you can tell they're lying to you. That's what this moment is, really. They'll never admit it. But that's really what this moment is. You voted for people who are not worthy to be in politics. And white folks years ago would have known that. These are people who are not responsible, they're not dependable, they have all the worst attributes, and you put them in office to to do Trump's bidding and to help him do his bidding. That's why. It's like hiring people to do a job under the table. You're paying them in cash. You're not giving them benefits. You're cheating them. And then you wonder why they're showing up to work late, leaving early, drinking on the job. Because what you hired. You hired bad people. So, it says Malone's victory is a loud and clear rebuke. Republican threats to program Pennsylvania families relying on Social Security and Medicaid and public schools. I would agree with that. I would agree to a certain extent. I think this is only one of the first of that. I think a lot of folks got to be hurt worse though, because so many white people voted just to harm other people. That's what I'm saying. And that if you vote in that manner with that in your mind, we can't really reason with you. I can't really reason with a person like that because you're unreasonable. That's right. If you're voting not for a better world, but to be cruel, I don't really know what that is. That's right. It just gets me with Mike Johnson. I don't know if it's bullshit or if he just doesn't. He's just, what about this? What they do? What about it? Just throwing. Because I know right-wing ideology doesn't have to make sense. That's what I learned about Fox News. It doesn't have to make sense. Many times it doesn't. It can be half a thought. Many times it is. But to have this guy to say, oh, well, it's all Democrats at these meetings in areas that have been voting red probably as long as I've been alive. And if they're upset and if your response is to call them Democrats, like it's a blind spot. It's a hell of a blind spot. And I think it's another example of how the people around Trump aren't fit to do the job. They're not worthy to do these jobs. That these are garbage people. And that you're going to see more of it. Drinking on the job. And now, if you heard, Trump is withdrawing his pick for the UN. Was it the UN, I think? Yeah. It's an ambassador pick. Because Trump's doing so, and it's beautiful. Because so much of Trump is bullshit and lies. And it's not, it's bullshit. We're winning everywhere. We're just winning all the time. You're tired of us winning. Like, that's Trump. So to see this is one of the few times in a while where in real time you're watching him actually being concerned. It's like game I play Operator 112 when my police are stopped in some kind of a stolen car or something a little bit more dangerous. I'm like, hey, let's start back up. I'm doing that because there's a chance something could happen. I'm not strong there. And there's other elections they're losing in Florida. I've been hearing about other things that are going on in Florida. It's just beautiful to see. I don't think it long term means anything. Then these people aren't going to start reading Marx, but they are being hurt, and I think that they deserve to be heard. And ultimately, I think Trump wants to wreck the economy. I don't think Trump cares about anybody really, other than another billion. He's a mascot for the oligarchs. That's what it is. They've already taken over. But it is nice to see there are consequences.